presión. Hoy voy a darle paz a mi corazón, por eso me perdí. Me fui de vacaciones, con muchas cervezas y canciones. Un shot por las buenas amistades y por las bendiciones. Y si el día se pone feo, tú me lo haces bonito. Ya no pido más deseos, tengo todo lo que necesito. Que quiere saberlo todo. Si pongo el location ya no es un secret spot. Hoy voy a pasarla bien y no pensar en nada, y no pensar en nada, y no pensar en nada. Porque a veces pienso tanto que me olvido de dar gracias cuando me levanto. A veces pienso tanto que me olvido de pensar en mí, que me olvido hasta de dormir, hey. Así que no se asusten si desaparezco. Un rato bien lejos, yo me lo merezco. No me hablen de trabajo, no me hablen de escuela, que ya subí el ancla y abrí la vela. Puedo ver el paraíso llegando Isabela. Un mango de Mayagüe, después pa' la palguera. Puerto Rico se ve lindo hasta en Google Maps. Y hoy le quiero dar la vuelta con Sensei y con Gaps. Lo que traigo es vibra linda, no quiero frontear. Pa' la IP yo después saco un disco de trap. No me busques que no me vas a encontrar, no me vas a encontrar, no, no. Me fui de vacaciones, con muchas cervezas y canciones. Un shot por las buenas amistades y por las bendiciones. Y si el día se pone feo, tú me lo haces bonito. Ya no pido más deseos, tengo todo lo que necesito. Ay, ya no pido más deseos, tengo todo lo que necesito. Soy todo el poder verte aunque no sea conmigo. No, ay, tengo que conformarme con ser solo tu amigo. Siempre pensando en tu nombre, vivo distraído. Volví, me enamoré y resulta que es prohibido. Más adelante vive gente, pero no me he movido. Sigo estancado, siempre soñando contigo. El de me explota, pero las debo en leído. Mis letras siempre tienen tu nombre y apellido. Viviendo con mil preguntas, el lápiz sin punta. De todo lo que escribo, más tú tienes la culpa. Llevo un año pagando la misma multa. Tú eres ese mal que no sé por qué me gusta. El no poder olvidarte me frustra. Te lo juro que me frustra. Pero si me llamas, te llego volando. Una Mercedes, voy capsuleando. Y cuando no estás, te sigo imaginando. Sin ropa en mi cama y no me gritando. Y si me llamas, le llego volando. En la Mercedes, voy capsuleando. Y cuando no estás, te sigo imaginando. Sin ropa en mi cama, mi nombre gritando. Voy volando que sufra de vertigo. Y si me caigo no tengo un plan médico. Con tu cenote yo me siento en México. Contigo el doctor me medicó, así que vente. Olvida el pasado, que el futuro lo tienes de frente. Solo tiene un por siempre. Pero yo le llego, solo dime que no me vaya. Cuéntame si tiro la toalla o si la tiramos en la playa. Baby, voy volando por si la señal me falla.
Huh. Yo, what's up, guys? It looks like looks like something's off right now. Hold on. You guys let me know if you're getting the stream like at a good, like if it's chopping up, if it's lagging or anything. It seems like it's kind of off right now. 1 second. What's going on here? One sec. All right, let me go look at the chat. If it's not bad, then I guess it's not bad. But we'll take a look here. All right, 1 second. Transition. Oh, even my camera's off. Let's see. What's up with this? All right. Here we go. All right, guys. So I mean, we're 2 minutes out from from the news. It's chopped, right? Damn. Where is everybody? Oh, you know what? I don't even think I sent it. Something's going on with this here. Yeah, there's something up here. That's unfortunate. All right, give me a sec, guys. It's unfortunately gonna have to figure out what's up here. All right, is it any better, or is it just equally as terrible? Keep me posted here. That way I can kind of troubleshoot this thing. If it's better now, then I don't gotta keep tripping about this. It looks like it's better now. Okay, cool. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys. Yeah, I am still in gold as well. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. Still in gold here. Looks like it's actually creating some liquidity right now as well. Kind of just chopping up and down, a little bit of a squeezing action. We have silver that's hasn't really worked its way down at all. So with silver, you know, still really holding up to this structure, it seems like gold, one, we made the right choice of taking gold, which is going to go way long. Like, this is going to help out for the continuous bearish momentum if it's going to keep going down. So we should be pretty good. We did see a big push up before everything dropped, so we might experience a slight pullback, hopefully not to like way right back to entry. But I am okay to give this some room because I think it has a lot it can break out of. We've been squeezing for quite some time, so I'm very much open to letting this thing just finally break out of this. And I think post FOMC is a good time for that. But our oil trade played out beautifully. I took my profit as I was going to sleep yesterday. Obviously, could have held this thing for a substantial 8R, which was the original game plan. Maybe I should have stuck to that plan, right? My stop profit for gold, my stop profit is actually still pretty high. I have mine up here right now, but that's because I just haven't gone to manage it. Because of this push up to this, I feel like we can mitigate out of here. So I am willing to give it about a pretty good amount of space to let it ride, just in case it wants to clear these highs one more time. So I have my stop like at up here right now. Okay, so yesterday, FOMC, honestly, indices basically did most of their movement without me in until the very end. And so we had kind of two different setups that had potential. One was the sell from up here with FOMC. So it was a 4-hour zone. We hadn't traded up here since November. So it came up to this, mitigated, and down it went. Now, I actually didn't go with taking this with Dow. I actually took this with NQ. And what I saw, basically, once we swept the high here, which we had been patiently waiting for since last Friday, once we took out this high, I was just waiting for some nice price action to find my short in here. And that's what I did. Sadly, for prop firms, though, like, they close your trade out as you're going into the next day. So, I wasn't able to squeeze my way in there. But after we took out the highs, and then we got a sweep above this high, and we broke below here, and we kind of kept failing to stay up here. I did take a short on NQ and then worked it down. But what I want to go over now is, so what is our next trade? Like, what can we do now? What's available to us here? You know, we're starting to see some momentum to the downside with indices and morning Tradetopia. What's up? What's up, Seth? Harshi, I know Joe, Steve, Amy, Sen. Morning, guys. How y'all doing? How we feeling? GM, what's up, Greg? Got it there too. Sick. Nice, very nice. So, right. So let's get a fresh view on everything, right? Let's start from the top to the bottom. Feeling in control. Amen. I love that, man. Okay. So, we just had the unemployment claims, which didn't do too much. It's pushing gold down a little bit, but it wasn't a crazy move. Indices, same thing, starting to kind of kick off some momentum to the downside. Definitely not looking for any sells in the middle of this range. Not really my style. but we'll dive into that as well. Now, we don't have any more news events today, but we do have New York Open in a little under an hour, so we'll be looking out for that. Tomorrow, no news events, but same thing, you have New York Open as well. And today we kind of get to see typically like the aftermath of FOMC. So FOMC either sometimes set up, like mitigates positions, or it's the cause to create liquidity capture and then set up a new one. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. Post FOMC, we started to see things ripple down, and then all throughout Asian session, the markets just kept bleeding out. So if we zoom out, so let's zoom out here. Let's get a good take on indices. When we saw the markets crash during Asian session, it did a great job, continue to go lower. Now NASDAQ was pushing down the most. So it was the most bearish by far. And so when we have an asset that's the most bearish, that's the one that I'm not looking to buy because it has the most momentum to the downside. Don't want to get in front of that. So we saw a massive liquidity, a 4-hour sweep of liquidity. And the market came right back down, right back up. So this gives us some good signs. I mean, liquidity capture comes back up here, moves sideways. This was basically our signature shakeout setup, where it takes out retail buyers, and then this lures in retail sellers. Those sell stops comes right back up here. We see it move sideways, building up resistance, one last push, and then the market has been flying since here. So I can actually understand both sides. Now, we didn't stay down here too much, but we did stay below the previous low quite a bit. So here was the previous low, and we did trade below here for 6 hours, 5.5 hours. So honestly, like it's not a bad idea. Like it doesn't stay down here. We don't stay below all of these levels, but we do still stay below the previous low for 5.5 hours, which is not too bad. I wouldn't say this is an A+ for a short again, just because we did lose a lot of momentum. But I understand a maybe conservative sell out of here, especially if this is very slow to move on up compared to Dow. But here's why I'd honestly prefer to go for buys. It's for the following reason. So check this out. What's up, Diego? Austin, Vaughn, what's good, fam? My neck's a little stiff. Oh. It's because of Dow, though. Dow Jones has not done anything bearish, really. It's not confirming bearish structure at all. So unlike NASDAQ and even S&P, if you look at S&P also broke below, but then came right back in. So S&P really showed us, like, nah, this doesn't really have demand at all. It broke the low, but then stayed above it, moving sideways this whole time. So S&P does not confirm bearish structure, and then Dow doesn't do it at all. Dow actually just pulls back 50% or so. So Dow Jones here doesn't even try to break a low, doesn't even get close. It just does a signature retracement, plays out of the order block, and then continues to the upside. So Dow, definitely, we still have our perspective with this. The buy stays valid, in my opinion, still here. So I think we can work our way all the way down to this 886 still and go for a position here. So something like this. What's up, Hector? So yeah, this is how I see it right now. The buys do look very much like a signature trade. taking out these lows. So if we get all the way down to here, beautiful. I would love to just, take this and ride it up to these levels. Looks like a good quality trade, almost a 5R potential, if not even more. So just keeping my eyes peeled for this. I think that right now the kind of the enticement is like, can I get into sells, like work our way all the way down? And the only option that I see that could have a chance at this would be with NASDAQ. If we're looking back at yesterday's price action with the FOMC press conference, I mean, things start to really kick off around here. Halfway through the press conference, you start to see this thing really, really rip. So we'd have to go back into this area and then think, okay, what would cause some reversals around here? So looking at price, the beginning of the last push up is right there. So right over here, we see the market start to fly to the upside. So here's where the buy positions go in, right? Smart money buys, drives this higher. And right now, have we gotten back to this price? All right, we just kind of entered here. We've been dropping off a little bit. I think we can get back at least to the this gap over here. And then we have previous price action that could, be just great reasons for reversals. So we have a lot of resistance over here around 25,820, obviously way up here. So this zone, 25,810, 25,820, kind of trading around here. And then you have strong reversals around 25,735. Trading, taking a sell over here, though, seems like just such a massive stop. Like, I just don't feel like that's worth it. So in order to really refine an entry with NASDAQ, I think we would have to get, for example, I would want to see Dow take out the highs. So if we are going to see sells first, I'd want to see Dow Jones take out yesterday's New York session highs at least. S&P, I'd want to see it, get above the Asian session open at least. I mean, hell, even if it goes above this as well, it could be worth something. So I don't really have a exact entry on NASDAQ right now. The break below was, it broke. It was down here for a while. But the fact that S&P doesn't confirm bearish structure whatsoever, Dow Jones is actually bullish, it's kind of taking away any sort of sells here anyways. So those are my thoughts so far with NASDAQ. I'm going to let the market come to me. So we'll stick with that. Market went really bullish yesterday. It's just still ripping. Swiss franc doing its thing right now. We had Australian here, which has mitigated at this point. Came back to the zone, cleared out liquidity. Now it's moving on up again. 6N also pushing. And then we had our the buy from yesterday, the reaccumulation. Man, what a payout. Like almost a 6R on this one. This one was what locked in my my payouts for those Tradetopia accounts, which was such a good experience. It was so smooth, super smooth. Yeah, like literally everything was all done in like less than 4 hours from the payout request, payout approval, and then also just it, getting to me, hitting the account. So it's super fast. It's pretty sweet. Anyways, so right now, what do we have going on? Euro is on an absolute tear. So is GBP. So if you guys take a look, this was FOMC, the news conference. We had one more spike down before it absolutely ripped. So I'm curious to see. This is where we might be looking at buys in the future with these dollar pairs where we got this right here. So that last push down was during the press conference, and then this thing starts to rip. So we see it with euro, and then we see the same thing, really with all these dollar pairs, but the euro and pound were the ones that I feel like euro and pound had a nice movement because it pushes down and then instantly just rips to the upside aggressively. So this is how we're seeing this one go down. And this move right here, I don't know if this is playing out of the order block or if this is mitigation. The reason that I'm thinking it might just be playing off this order block is only because the euro doesn't come back to mitigate yet. The euro has more to drop. So I'm more mindful to seeing this go down. So basically with dollar pairs, at some point I think we come back to the press conference drop. Like the yen too. Yen had a similar movement where it drops from the press conference. We don't get down to those levels, but the markets just keep pushing higher and higher. So I am open to ideas here, and we'll keep this in the radar. Okay, so that's that. Metals, as we've talked about again and again, right now we have consolidation in this zone. So the sells stay alive. We have basically liquidity here. So this might cause a short-term reversal, maybe taking out these highs one more time before we see this turn back around. It would be the mitigation of this move that takes out the New York highs during Asian session. So somewhere in here, honestly, this could be one of those moments where you actually can stack another order. If I feel like we already pushed up, came back down, and played out of here, so I don't know if we're going to get back up to this. But somewhere in here, I feel like you have another quality opportunity. 42.68. Yes, the payouts on Tradetopia were super quick, super quick. So if you guys are going to take advantage of that, obviously you have the code up there, and I think the link is in the description here. So I see the push up here. It could mitigate this, something like that in here. I have my stop right up here right now, so hopefully the pullback isn't super deep, and maybe we just play out of this little order block at like 42.60. I would love for that to be the case, and then we just keep pushing down. But so let me go ahead and actually I want to do something here. So I'm gonna just put this to the side because this is already active, but just so this looks clear. Actually, you know what? Let me go over to Indices real quick. We'll just mark it up from here. Okay. So, I mean, here's the setup. The market makes one last push up to here. We saw this, we already had all this go down, so. Okay. So this is kind of where we have the final move. So we get one that sweeps these highs, and then you get another that takes out from basically right around here. So refining that, you could kind of narrow it down to 42.65-ish. We clear this. We get below, we play into the imbalance, and then we drop again. So there might be a small chance we get up over here. I think there's a better chance we at least kind of reverse out of 42.60 1-ish. So if we get up to here, I think we can get reversals. And then again, you have, this actually would be a smaller stop than the original idea. So throw a couple contracts at it there and run it up. So this, I think, is looking solid. I'm going to have alerts here as well. This would be just stacking, right, going and getting more out of the same thing. So pretty dope. Also, guys, I dropped a video yesterday after FOMC. Maybe not the best timing, but if you guys can check that out, feel free to watch that. A lot of value. So trading psychology videos. The edits go crazy. Trust. The edits go crazy. Nary snapped. So check this out. Leave a comment, share, like it, all that good stuff. It means a lot to us. Now, oil. Oof, oil is getting there. So let's get ready for oil. Oil, we don't want to miss this one. The sell was beautiful. It was a little annoying because it did close out on prop firms for futures, and then there was like a small chance to kind of get in at a worse place, but to ride us down. So what a beautiful setup. This really came back down to our exit here for over an 8R. What an absolutely epic trade. Anyone ride this all the way down? Happy Thursday, Kanzada. Anyone take this just like do its thing. So right now, with all that being said, the market is approaching our buy zone, and this is based out of, we've seen tons of support here in the past, a nice push down before the reversal. So I am looking to buy here right at 57.42. So let's go do let's get the contracts all nice and ready here. Dashboard? Nah. I haven't had any issues, but I can double check here in a second. Okay, so we can set here our risk reward. So let's say we took this just to kind of play back into the imbalance in here. Still gives us at least a 3R if we just trade it halfway into this imbalance. At this point, we have, oh, you know what? I should do this on MCL. Yeah, we'll get better precision here. Here we go. Okay. Sweet. So just about 15 contracts. Yeah. 15 contracts, 15 micros for this idea. Let's go get this set up over here. And then we got 5710. All right, cool. All right, so this setup is ready to roll now. Set in stone. Keep an eye out on this coming back down to this area. Alerts are also set, so we're good to go. I was going to retake it, but it would have been a worse entry and a worse RR. Yeah, sometimes it's worth it, but, you know, you got to be able to make that decision. You can't log instance yesterday? Really? Huh. By the way, Mike, you've been on a heater, bro. Ending the year off with a bang. Absolutely inspirational. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's everything's hitting. Like, everything is pretty much hitting. I am just keeping everything the same. Risk stays the same. Not forcing anything. Yesterday when I was like, damn, I'm in an NQ sell. It was right after I had qualified for the payout, and I was just trading my other accounts. Like after FOMC, I was like, damn. So I'm like in this sell, and then I'm in a gold sell, and I'm in an oil sell. I'm like, I had to like really think like, okay, am I like, there's a lot of trades all at once. I had to like just make sure I wasn't just like delusional. Like, is everything really happening like this fast all at once? But it does. I mean, FOMC brings the volume, brings the liquidity. It's what it does. It's like I was almost at this point where I was thinking, okay, like, am I just on a high? Like, is this a point of just euphoria? Like, am I blind to anything? And I'm like, no, like, this is just, yeah, I mean, everything's just coming together. So, cool. That's what we do. But I just think it's important to kind of step outside of yourself for a second just to get some perspective and then go from there. But, all right, so we're waiting on an oil trade. We have active gold sells. And then we had, hold up, did I see someone make an 8R on oil? Took oil on CFD account, 8.22 RR. That's wild. Yeah, I wonder why you can't log in. That's so weird. I can ask also. I can see if there's anything I can do once we wrap up. But yeah, no, I'm not having any issues. Okay, let's see. Okay, so right now we're seeing the potential reversal, maybe just a sweep, and then it comes back down. I would imagine if this is going to work out for us, it would be a quick move before the continuation to the downside here. All right, so I say we take another look at indices. We're still about 35 minutes out from New York Open. But I really don't have anything to take here right now. Like, it's at the extremes. We're pretty far. We're like 550 points out from the buy. And then if we're going to get a sell, it would be, yeah, same. It's like, I just don't like trading in the middle of a range like this. I feel like, especially when there's just no confirmations. Yeah, it seems like a recipe for disaster. You have some liquidity over here, some squeezing consolidation over here. So I'm not really in a rush to do much. The only thing that's time sensitive that makes sense is the oil buys, but that's really about it. Yeah, that's kind of it. So with that being said, I mean, I think make sure you guys have done your math, that you have your contracts or your lot sizes just ready to roll for this oil trade, if the oil trade makes sense to you. That's basically the one that's just pending. Everything else just needs time, in my opinion. What I can do is I can take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Oh, that peso, remember that peso idea we were talking about? That one is definitely still valid. It just hasn't worked its way down. So this remains like a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and just reshare some of the active ones. So, or some of the pending ideas that we've already gone over before. So, for example, peso here. Got another list going. Oh, let me let some of these people into the community real quick. All right. Okay, cool. So let's get today's setups cooking here. Today's setups, and it is December 11th. 2025. We have 6M, aka the peso. Signature mitigation buys. Doesn't get cleaner than that, really. Let's also get this oil idea here. So here we go. Oil. I think it shows it shows the entry, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so if you guys have charts, as usual, drop them in here. I'll review them when I have time, and then I'll keep adding to this, making any edits I need to make. All right, so that's doing its thing. We got crypto that took a pretty good hit with FOMC and interest rates and all that jazz. So we're almost at the levels that we were talking about before, right? These Bitcoin buys sitting around under 86,000. So that remains. And oil just dropped out of nowhere. All right, cool. Here we go. So oil here getting close to triggering the buy limit. And I'm active now. Could this go lower? Absolutely. It could get into some drawdown. I'm prepared for that. Are you prepared for that is the question. And then let's see. Am I in over here? Interesting. It didn't trigger me in. Now I'm in. All right, cool. It didn't trigger me in on my top steps right away, but we're good now. All right, perfect. So, and then let me make sure I have my sell stops too. All right, we're set. Okay, cool. So this one's going a little bit deeper of a pullback, and I'm totally ready for it. I just wanted to make sure I get a decent entry for playing off of where we've seen support before. And then from here, if we get a reversal, send it. If it's a really quick jump, then I might be open to actually letting this ride beyond this. I think here's where we saw the momentum really pick up with the news conference, which is actually closer to the market, pushing up to like here. So that's what I see. That's what I think we got going on right now. All right, so we're up here. Now this is across the 5 Tradetopia accounts, and then toss-up accounts, and then a live account. So, you know, a little bit of movement so far, nothing crazy. We'll let this thing we'll let it ride. While oil is active doing its thing, we will just kind of keep going over other setups, analyze this. I think we may have that big push down to this zone. It's always a possibility. Also, distributions look possible up here as well. So we'll get into that a little bit. Let's dive in here. So this is what we saw after the press conference, like right at the end. Takes out liquidity. So you see Bitcoin creating resistance over here, equal highs. It breaks above into 94,500-ish, and then just tanks. So could there be a sell idea over here? And it very much looks like that's the case. So you see the market from here just start to rip. Clears this, definitely imbalance left behind. It just kind of breaks below, chops up, and drops. So we can definitely get into this and sell off at some point. So we got two ideas going over here. All right, so zooming out, this is kind of what we're looking at. BTC, USD. That's set there. Okay. All right, Bitcoin. Either direction right now, it's kind of somewhere stuck in between. That's cool. All right, and that kind of brings us back to indices. So indices ranging. I'm sure New York Open's going to kind of crack this thing open. We'll get the volatility we need to start making some better trades somewhere. For now, literally nothing. Kind of the most boring indices open or pre-open. One thing we can do, so right now, just a quick update, oil is slightly under entry. Expected, we can always expect that there can be drawdown. Obviously, I don't think you should trade going into like, oh, I'm going to get the best entry of all time. The reason, and all I'm saying is expectations. Can you get that? Yeah, it happens a lot to us. But when you understand, like, I can experience the drawdown, going 0.1 R drawdown, 0.25 drawdown, 0.5 R drawdown. When you have that, and then you're ready, you're prepared. You're not like, oh my God, it's going towards my stop. And then it's like you panic, you get out early, it gets really close, so you close it early. No, you got to be prepared for all of it, right? So the one thing that I didn't talk about yet with the oil idea is stop loss management. So what I'm doing, here's what I'm doing. So the sell-off, in my opinion, was about a 40-point move to the downside. So if the market, from wherever the low is, whether this is the low or it goes lower, but from wherever it is, once it does those 40 points, then I'm tightening my stop up. So for now, it would be like over here. But obviously, if this goes lower, then I'm going to take it from a lower. That would be calculated from a lower place. But yeah, we'll just kind of wait and see. Okay, so I want to actually look at majors from a bigger time frame. Right now, Australian mitigated from September 17th, huge pump up before it dropped. So this finally got up to here and then, sold off pretty aggressively. So this definitely did its thing. Mitigation was valid. Not something that I took or anything, but if you were wondering why this thing sold off so aggressively, that's why. And then you might ask, okay, so is this bearish now? Is Australian, should we sell this or something? And my take on this is, one, it tried to break below, but it failed. And then it came right back up. So I don't necessarily think that this is suddenly bearish and we're making lower lows and this is just going to keep going lower. Since it failed to stay below, not the case. And this move up here was the peak of the FOMC press conference. Meanwhile, NZD is actually even more bullish, going even higher. So if we're going to look to sell, let's say one of these dollar pairs, you would want to sell whatever's slowly working its way up to a point of interest, which currently Australian is moving upwards slower than NZD, and NZD has been approaching that September move, which was way over here. So bigger picture, this is moving a little bit slower, but with current price action, it's kind of taking charge, relatively bullish here. We have a nice reversal out of the FOMC conference here, and then that went bullish. But yeah, no shorts for me with NZD, CAD futures as well. Nothing I'm really looking to get in the middle of, so just going to let that do its thing. We nailed the entry. We literally had the best entry possible other than like down here. So super, super awesome setup. Euro, same thing. We're getting really close to trading towards a zone I've been waiting on for a minute. So Euro is approaching this zone here. This is where October 16th we took a high, and then everything came crashing down. So we can compare this to the pound, and it is very much different to the yen and very different to the pound. So the pound here has the same price action, right? October 16th, the market came flying up to this level. I had my entry over here. So let me show you guys. Get you a better look. Zoom in here. Okay. So taking a look at this. Basically, this goes back to October 17th. So let's use the replay tool so we can look at this and see exactly what I was seeing back almost 2 months ago. So we saw a lot of sideways movement here, October 16th, and then we had more resistance up here. So the pound pops up, fills all this imbalance, and then immediately turns around, okay? When we're seeing this as well, we can tell that the market had tons of liquidity. It takes out the highs, comes right back down, and then all we have is more liquidity. So can the market reverse out of this order block, resistance from the past, right around 1.34, I'd say 53, 54, like right around here. This is October's price action. So we haven't gotten back here. So zooming out now, getting you towards the present. This is what I'm looking for here. So right now we've retraced back to like October 20th price action here. So the pound and the euro are really similar. It's just about which one do we think is more likely to sell off. It looks like euro is about to get to this key area. And so if the euro is going to get to this reversal level first, then I'm going to wait for the pound to get there. And I'd rather take GBP for a short here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share this idea. All right. And then for now, I'm aiming for about a 3R here, just to fill the imbalance to play back into price action. But yeah, this is the idea with GBP. This may happen. So just to give you guys some perspective, tomorrow we have GBP news at 1 a.m. during London session. Maybe that does the trick. So let's make some changes here. Let's update this, right? GBP. Got that going on there. Any questions on this idea? Anything time sensitive you guys want me to take a look at? Let me know. I'm going to go check out the chat right now. Active on oil. Okay, me too. What's up, Luis? Do you have like beginner friendly videos? One standing beginner friendly, like just like in general, like just like as if you're going to start trading from scratch. Ooh. All right. H contract. Did it already? We got this going already? For 6B. Yeah, I'm using Tradetopia to copy trade, but you could use their Project X feature as well. They're pretty similar. Yeah, I do know that they will be getting rid of their Project X feature by I think February or March of 2026. Project X, Topstep basically was like, nah, you're gonna only work with us. It's exclusivity there. Beginner friendly, yeah. So if you go to the school in the classroom section, if you know just like a bare bones, then the Traders Launchpad should help you. We are working on creating a like literally from zero. I know absolutely nothing like of trading and building that out. So give us some time. We're definitely looking to roll that out. But if you have if you know the basics, then for sure go check this out. This should be very, very useful. What's up, Savage Kev? Currencies volume. Gare, what's up? How are you? Yo, everybody. Blipped. Then, yeah, cool. Check that out. One standing. Is that Ty? I feel like I've seen that name a lot of times before. All right, so still sitting in a little bit of drawdown. Nothing, not too crazy. Kind of expected for oil here. I wanted to just make sure I get a decent entry. Maybe not. It might be somebody else. What's up, Maria Lisa? Back in the charts. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I get an entry here. I didn't want to miss this one. Expected that it could go lower. So drawdown here is not surprising whatsoever. There we go. Okay. Dipping your toes back in. Hey, anything you need, homie, I got you. You already know. All right, so gold pulling back. Okay, here we go. So gold pulling back for this while we're getting closer to New York Open. Like I mentioned, I kind of expected this to happen for us to get some pullbacks. And then I think we can short out of this range over here. So I'm kind of expecting it to go up another 50 or so before we can get some reversals, maybe even more. What's up, Santiago? Yo. 2 instant funded. Awesome. Make sure you guys are getting your discounts on that. If you're getting those. So just use the code that you can see on the screen. All right, let's go take a look back at indices. So we're back looking here at NASDAQ. I'm sure a lot of you, I know a lot of you weren't on super early. And honestly, it worked out in your favor. There really wasn't much going on until our oil trades. And even then, if you want to take the trade that I'm in right now, I am in an oil long. So I bought oil here. If you get in now, you actually get a better entry than I did. So if you're late to the party and you're like, oh no, what did I miss? Oil buys, that's what we got right now. Currently down about maybe like 1,500 overall. And then, at least with props. And then, yeah, we'll see. So I gave myself a total of, I think it was a little under $500 of risk, like 480, I think, with this one. So we're at about a third of the drawdown available. Nothing changes despite that. And then indices have been just, there's nothing really going on right now. So to give a recap for everyone that's joining, the NASDAQ is the only indice here that broke the low and then actually just stayed trading below here, even though it didn't have too much demand down here. We did trade below this low for about 5.5 hours. So that's a decent amount. I am open to selling NASDAQ, but before I do that, I want to see S&P break New York highs. I want to see Dow Jones take out New York highs, YM here. So that I need extra confirmations so I can just get a more precise entry on NQ and for it to be worth it. Otherwise, if for whatever reason there's not really good setups there, then the setup that's very much valid and it's just a matter of time is buying Dow way down here. way down here. So yeah, we got some ways to go for this idea here. So time will tell, my friends. Time will tell. Mago code work for Top Step as well? Nah, I don't have a Top Step affiliate. But good news, guys. We are, I think, two more accounts away from referrals from a giveaway. So that was gonna come from them and myself. But I'm gonna run another one. So I'm gonna let me get creative. But I do want to run a giveaway for the Tradefy account to celebrate the payout and how fast it was. I think it'd be dope to just give an account away to you guys as well. So tomorrow I'll be doing a giveaway. So make sure you're on tomorrow. I'll probably do the giveaway around like halfway through the session. I'll figure out what I'll do or how we'll set it up so it actually makes sense. But yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, appreciate you guys for, betting on yourselves to do it. Obviously, only get these accounts if you feel like you're consistent, you're ready. At least the instant ones. The instant ones, like, it's very attractive to get one. I totally get it. But I think you should have some proof that you are going to follow what you do, because you are taking a bigger investment. And it does take a little bit longer to get the payout. Maybe not, honestly. It just depends on how you look at it. So, but anyways, just so I feel better about it, I want to make sure like you guys, one, are following along with me, and it's obviously of value to you, but you're just keeping your risk in check, you're keeping your rules in check, and you're able to lose the right way. I think that's the biggest one. If you can lose well, then I think cool, do the instant fundeds. If you're still figuring out like, okay, how do I approach like my system, and if you're making tweaks and you're still kind of building up your confidence, then do a challenge, do a lower cost prop firm. Because I understand like, oh, let's just get this big one and let's go get some payouts, which is dope, which is cool, and I want that for everybody. But some of you might just still kind of be figuring yourself out as a trader, and taking that much risk up front might actually demotivate you than anything. So like, that's just my 2 cents. They have they have challenges like that are less and no activation fees, which are pretty cool. Okay, so Dow is still pushing higher. S&P and Q also working their way up. Oil had a little bit of a deeper pullback. It looks like it's starting to climb its way out again. So about a little bit under a half hour of drawdown for me there. As I mentioned, if you're not in this yet and it makes sense to you, this is the idea, by the way, mitigating this sell-off here. If this is something that makes sense to you, then you get a way better entry now than I did. But I wouldn't double down. Don't double your risk just because you're in drawdown now. You're like, oh, well, if I get in now, then, I might make it back and then more. But remember, if you get in again, now you're increasing your risk on one idea. And in my opinion, every trade idea that, like, if it meets all of your standards, your confirmations, and it's like your textbook setup, it should just be worth the same. I don't think any trade should be worth more or less than another one, unless you have rules that are like, okay, if this is here, then okay, I risk less. Sometimes you have like an iffy confirmation or something's like, I'm not 100% on this. Then sure, I think going and risking less, that in my opinion, there's room for that. Okay, gold. We're just about getting to this zone here where the market could sell off again here on gold. So we're not too far out, maybe another 20 points or so. All right, that was euro. Remember, we had that euro zone, but euro is pushing so aggressively, so I'm not going to short that. And then here we have the market now approaching this area here. Okay. All right, oil climbing out again a little bit. Very nice. We got gold just about into the zone. Indices going to open here in about 6 minutes or so. Okay, things are coming together. Let me look at the chat. Like an older brother spoken. Hey man, that's how I see it. You know, got to set the standard. Got to keep it 100. And I mean, what's a pib? Yo, that's funny. Knowing how to lose is more important than knowing how to win in my eyes. 100%, Cody. 100%. Thoughts on USD JPY? Yeah, we can look at the yen for sure. Let's pull up the yen here. Are you looking to sell the yen? Well, USD JPY, you'd be looking to buy it then, I'm assuming. So this is what I imagine you're seeing. Okay. So hold on. Actually, Seth mentioned this. I know the contracts. Are we seeing more volume? Seth, is there more volume on the H contract now than the Z contract? Did that, like, are we already seeing more volume there, or are we still like kind of in between? It seems like it's still kind of transferring. Oh, we are. Interesting. Okay. %90 more. Oh, okay. Perfect. Perfect. Interesting. TopStep has not transferred over their contract yet, by the way. In case you were wondering, guys. TopStep is still on Z. All right, so this is the idea I'm assuming you're looking at. We have some consolidation here. This is going on during London. The market takes this out during Asian session, plays into this, and then sells off and does not. Hold on. We come back right into here, and then we sell off again. So here's what we got. So the question becomes, you know, can we get a short out of this area? But first, it's loading. Okay. All right, here we go. So we have some resistance building up. And then during Asian session, this starts to kick off, takes out resistance, fills this imbalance, and then down it goes. So I'd argue, I mean, we kind of start to push off from down here too. Down, so it kind of chops its way up into shorting. Momentum picks up right there, and then we get the reversal. From here, you also have this one. So they had another move where the market was moving sideways. Big move up here. Takes those highs and then drops. So I also see potential shorts in here. All right. And then we can extend these out. So yen is in the middle of that right now. So the question is this worth shorting? I'll tell you what. So right now, right, we're seeing the yen play out of that zone. Euro is in a mitigation zone as well. This is from December 7th. So this is just from Sunday here. These are the highs of the week. And then you have the zone up here. Maybe this gives a minor rejection, but the fact that there's another one right up here, that's kind of throwing me off, to be honest. I feel like it's going to want to push up to this zone. And also, since the market spiked up to here and then dropped aggressively, it kind of feels like this may have mitigated anyways. The pound is getting closer to this as well. So I'm going to stay away from the yen. I feel like I'm seeing other motives for the price to go higher. So I'm going to hold off on that yen short. If anything, it would be with the higher zone. So let's start making some changes here. All right, just gonna throw some extra contracts in here for the ones that are at least are relevant. I don't want this to take up too much time. All right, that's fine. Okay, so indices kicking things off, pretty bearish. How are we feeling about this, guys? How are we feeling about this whole thing here? Gold in zone as well, so I do think that we could see gold give us some opportunities here. So gold, let me bring it up, MGC, right in here. So I like shorts in this area. The original sells were up here. The second, if I'm going to look for re-entries, I like where we're at right now for entries. So shorts right here. And then from here, yeah, I mean, let it do its thing. See if we get it. Other idea, I have my stop up here. So I gave myself a lot of room for this one. So if this is the case, now I have two ideas running in the same direction, but they have different motives, right? Different reasons for the trade itself. Oil active, pretty deep retracement so far, but it's back at about a half hour of drawdown. Gold sell active as well. And then, so NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ kicked things off here by dropping some more, taking out this liquidity. Meanwhile, Dow is doing the opposite, right? Dow is blasting off, absolutely ripping to the upside, has now taken out yesterday's New York highs, and is actually, looks like, is this going for, it's almost approaching all-time highs as well. So yeah, trading up into this zone. As you can see, Dow and NQ have completely opposite missions at the moment. Dow is ripping, NQ is dropping. So for example, if these stay doing this, if they just stay the same, in which right now you're seeing liquidity captures with Dow, if we were to get kind of a shakeout setup, then I'd be open to selling this. So let's say we get this, we move some sideways a little bit, and then we get a sell-off. Awesome. I'm open to it. Obviously, we just want to see a bit more confirmations before we make any decisions there. But right now, Dow, very, very bullish. NQ, very bearish. NASDAQ sweeping some of this consolidation that we had seen over here. So now that it did that, looks like it's working its way higher. Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice this. I didn't go to the 1 minute earlier, but the news event, this just mitigated the news event. I just didn't even think about it. It was just so small that I didn't even consider it. But okay. So we have NQ still dropping while Dow is pushing still. And now Dow is starting to push a little bit lower, and NQ is pushing lower. Okay, perfect. So if this is the case, then and they're both going to move in the same direction to the downside. So like, let's say they're both going to be bearish now. If that's the case, then, you know, just waiting for shorts on NQ just makes more sense. I'm being cautious with Nasdaq though for selling, because one, we have liquidity here on the 1 minute. I do see the push up here before New York Open, but not my favorite right now. So I'm gonna just let the market print right now for the case of indices and just getting better confirmations, better clarity here. Yeah, Dow's still pushing higher. Now it looks like they're back on the same page. See? So crazy. It's moving crazy right now. Gold here, trading within this imbalance, doing its thing in the zone. Fantastic. Looks like it's starting to drop a little bit. Let's see if the reversal comes in. Oil also, you know, got down to this level, under a half-hour drawdown again. And then I don't have any trade active right now with indices. Just staying patient here, very patient. Oil's starting to bounce back a bit. Let's see, what questions do you guys have? Commentary. Active on gold. Awesome. Me too. Waiting for Dow to show us signs of bearish structure. Shorted Nas 30 second, went 8R. Fucking A, man. Yamane lives in like the craziest time frames. I see the setup though. You took this one, right? Did you take this one up here or this one right here? Built different for sure. That thing is nasty. Took it for 4. Nice, man. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Let's go, Yamane. All right, gold pulling back, way back, uncomfortably back. So I have my risk exposure on my first idea and then on the second idea. So right now I'm really close to getting stopped out on the original sell that I had from yesterday, which sucks, honestly. And I have the rest of it going now, though. Okay. Okay, so there we got that. Oil here, kind of making a comeback, which is nice. So we got that here, right over there, chilling. Very nice. And Q going wild over here. Pumped up, filled in balance, working its way down. What's Dow doing? Dow chilling. S&P still not clearing any liquidity yet. Okay, that's cool. Let's see, will oil hold up? Anyone have anything different on indices that I'm not seeing? This is going to be a very boring trading hour here. Sweeping this, I still don't really, I'm not bought into buying anything either. NQ way more bearish than Dow, so I'm not really looking forward to doing anything like that. Dow is like not dropping at all. So the buys on Dow eventually seem like a better idea. Unless price action changes later on or something, but right now it's just big chilling. Gold here. I had a feeling we were going to trade into this imbalance too. Maybe I just didn't want to believe it. But here it's coming kind of, it's approaching back to my my entries here. Oil is testing here. Back and forth it goes. But what's kind of nice is if this is going to play out, if oil plays out, which it very much could, because we've been pretty choppy here, the breakout should be pretty nice. So if it does go our way, worst case, cool, -1R. Best case, I'm expecting if it does go up, then we're going to get a big move because we've been sideways. Like this has been very choppy, very slow for the last 40 minutes or so. So that's a good thing. Like it's like building up tension, pressure, and then the thing can absolutely rip. So worst case is the exact same, whereas the best case kind of keeps improving, which is pretty nice. All right, what I'm going to check out right now is I'm going to take a look at the pound and see if we're getting closer. What did that yen idea turn into? Let's see here. The yen is still kind of moving its way up. I prefer the higher entry on the yen. So I'm actually going to send this one. I'd rather just take this idea up here. This could work out, but I'm going to just disqualify that one and then go for the short here instead. And in the past, if you guys look closely, we see this, right? So you got this going on over here, right in this zone. So honestly, with the yen here, I'm cool with playing this near the open. I think it's got more than enough potential. And then, yeah, trading this kind of into a structure. We'll see. This might happen later. I don't know if, is there yen news tonight or something? Nah, nothing. That's fine. All right, but this is the idea. Add this to the list. $6J. We got the yen. This is what I have for NQ, waiting for price to go back to the 25A200 zone. The price has been reacting around that level since October. 25, 200 zone. Oh, down here. Okay. Word. Okay. So I have, if it breaks these highs, I'll have an alert for the yen, and then when it gets to the zone, I'll have the second alert just to be ready to roll here. 6B we talked about. Things stay relatively the same there. Okay. So unless there's something else here that you guys have for me, like gold, The gold short, I'm still in. My stops are above the highs, so my stops are at like 42.78. Oil, I'm still holding, no issues. This silver buy, I would love to see eventually crash. Also, silver just took out the highs, so that does make me feel a bit better about gold selling off now that silver took out where retail had their their stop losses for their sells. So I do think this could play out. But gold definitely is, it's only like 50 points away from the stop. So, hey, it's always possible to lose, right? So don't get too cocky. Don't keep buying again. And if you do lose, just take the loss like a champ, like don't trip about it. There's going to be more setups. Like, don't give it too much. Don't give a loss too much power over you. Okay? If you're losing the right way, you're good. You're chilling. Don't trip. Like, think about it this way. Just to give you some perspective, like with the payout that I just got, I lost 45% of the time. Now I don't remember how many of those were like, tiny losses, like that were like break evens, but like it is what it is. Like, it's not a big thing there. So for example, here I can show you guys actually. So like, I'll show you guys what December looks like. Let me just make sure I don't give you guys too much detail here, or like my account numbers. So here we go. Yeah, so take a look at this. I'll show you guys. This is just what we have for the month on the Tradetopia accounts. So just so you guys can see it here. So here, this is like, actually with today, this is not really up to date. These are the cost to open these trades. But for example, like 53.44%, like that's not insane. So I lose the right way out of most of the trades here, right? These are losers. Like I just know how to lose, right? My average loss isn't even my full R, I guess, at this point either, because of the reduced losses and stuff like that. So it's okay. All right. This is how you get to that point. You got to be able to do this. And even if today ends up as a losing day, that's fine. Like, don't let having the calendar look nice and pretty. It's Christmas, right? It's green and red. It's not just green. If it works out and these trades end up hitting, cool, I'm down. But if not, that's okay. So yeah, learn how to do that, and that's what's going to get you further with your trades. All right, guys. So it's important that you know how to do that. Hopefully that gives you just insight, or like, I don't know, more confidence that it's not just about holding winners and praying that things turn around and not taking the losses. Okay, cool. This is dropping back down. Nice. Oil. Okay, oil started to pump up a little bit. Almost got back to entry. Let's see here. Now I'm thugging right now. Let's go. Possible NQ buys, half risk off the 15-minute order block and some imbalance. Let's see. So I'm avoiding, definitely at all costs. I'm not looking for buys on NASDAQ since Dow has way more bullish momentum. And then there's liquidity down here. So I'm kind of staying out of NASDAQ buys. So I'm chill. I'm cool on that for now. Overall, I might end up just not trading indices today. Mike, sería valid tomar esa venta 6JH 2026 en USD, pero al revés, sí, estaría comprando, exactamente, así es. All right, oh, gold. Let's go. Here, at this point, hey, raise your hand if you were clenching. All right, when it got up to here, when you were clenching, I know it, don't lie. You were like, ooh, it's going to stop me out. I thought Mike doesn't lose. All right, so I'm going to tighten my risk. Bro, I'm not just clenching. I was crowning. Yo. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. All right. My guy's wilding out. So I'm going to reduce my risk here. He said he was. That's wild. All right. So buy stops at the highs now for me. Let me go ahead and make some adjustments over here. Okay. Reduce risk. Reduce risk. Okay. Great. Oil still playing games, playing with their hearts. So we got that rolling there. And then got gold. All right, so gold here, just so you guys can kind of see this. That's chilling. Now we got a long way to go now. But like I mentioned, this is why I love correlation between assets. When silver, it was the divergence. When silver took the high, I was like, all right, cool. Then we have a better chance now. Because now this liquidated these sellers while gold is still making lower highs. Now the market, like silver has liquidity to take out all of this imbalance going into FOMC. So like there's just so much motive for price to keep tanking. Where gold already played out of a lot of this FOMC price action, and this coming all the way down to here is even better. Plus, this is a better stop for me than it was yesterday. Excuse me. Okay, NQ just swept London lows and is trading into Asian lows. Perfect. God, for those of you that caught the that NAS sell, oh Jesus. Okay, so now we're seeing Dow come back. That's fine. Not going to be looking, I don't think I'm going to be looking to short anything Dow related. It's just too, yeah, it's just not really giving enough. All right, NQ liquidity sweep. Beautiful. Now you're going to see everything move up together. Dow sweeps liquidity. Curious if this eats it all back up and then maybe it creates a shakeout opportunity. That's possible. Okay. Gold. Gold has now dropped from the high about 100, almost 150 ticks. So to me, this looks like we've mitigated at least this move for sure. So that's why I already reduced my risk, keeping risk at a minimum. Oil starting to give a bit better price action over here. Hopefully I don't jinx myself there. Nope. NQ said, nah, just kidding. We're going to keep dropping. Okay, great. All right, well, guys, is it really only 8:53? No shit. Oh, I guess I started early, right? That makes more sense. I was like, dude, I feel like I've been on for forever. Gold just dropped. Bro, I'm not. You're wild. Reduce risk. I was clenching. Noah, what's up, Noah? Nope, I love that deep pullback. Okay. Yo, look at this meltdown. Absolutely gone. All right. So we got oil, a little bit of drawdown, but we got gold chilling. Gold here. I got my stops reduced. Let's see where we get to. All right. All right, all right. So, can we get shorts on NQ later? Is this possible? Would it make sense? So, immediately, any shorting of NASDAQ in this range for me is like, it drops in quality. Shorting anything in here. Why? One, liquidity. Liquidity is right there. So looking for shorts is just a little sketchy for me. Even like selling out of this news event, little pump here. This would have been a half risk max trade had I noticed it. I didn't. I know some of you took this one, which is fucking sick. Right now we're trading back down into this imbalance, inefficiency. Here, I could see it reverse out of this zone. Especially with the combination of Dow playing out of structure. Just might. S&P playing out of structure. And then here is where Dow and NASDAQ had very little demand. So look at this. Remember, this took out liquidity, came into the zone where we've seen previous levels of support, and then immediately came back up. So if Dow wasn't on an absolute meltdown, and that on itself gives me lower probabilities for success on this trade, I would like NQ. If it was on its own and I wasn't, looking at correlations or any of that jazz, yeah, I would have stayed this. I would have taken this. But it's the bear. NQ is the bear of the day. So can't be doing it, man. It's not part of the plan, man. Not part of the rules, man. Dow had a similar kind of idea, right? Dow is very similar. Clears liquidity, trades down to here. Ooh, I didn't notice this before. But NQ equal lows. So S&P, ES could go lower. So here's the thing. One thing that I remember in my mind, what I always think is like, but how much lower could it really go? Like how much lower? Yeah. I know. I'm drunk. I got a little excited. My screen's a little bright, so sorry, guys. I'm out here in heaven now. I'm in the divine. But when you're seeing things drop a whole bunch, don't let your mind trick you into thinking, well, like it's already dropped this much. Can it keep dropping? And then all of a sudden you're like, there's no way. So then you let some mediocre setup give you your money to this mediocre trade that you typically would not have traded. And that's the thing of volatility. Remember, when you start to see the markets move fast, when they're moving quick, all of a sudden you're thinking, well, I kind of want to take advantage of this. I want to take advantage of all this volatility. I don't want to miss out. It's moving. Like, I just need to catch a little move and I'll get something. No. This is the test, right? This is the test. The volatility that you're not in is the test of your skill, is the test of your discipline. Control yourself. Because when you take a trade that you weren't supposed to be in, it's 10 times harder to accept the loss behind that trade because you don't want to accept it. So let's chill. Meanwhile, okay, gold looks like it wants to keep going. Silver dropping decent drop on silver. We just saw it break below New York. It's actually pushing down a bit faster than gold is right now. It's all right. Oil still chilling. So the thing with oil too is either, like I mentioned, and this keeps moving sideways. So what is today, Thursday? Do we have, what is it, natural gas, right? Oil was yesterday? Yeah, oil inventories were yesterday. Okay. Maybe natural gas storage makes a difference with energies and gets this is an excuse for a pump. But the bigger the sideways movement, the better this move is going to be. So, hey, that's cool with me. If this thing wants to keep squeezing, that's fine as long as it goes in our favor, right? As long as it's going in our direction. S&P still chilling. NQ keep pushing. All right, getting closer to taking out those lows. Originally, I had this zone marked up here. We got 2 more zones. NQ could approach this. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to be taking NASDAQ buys today. Only buys I'm considering would be Dow Jones. YM over here. And it would be way down here. So sadly, won't be involved in much of the indices volatility unless things drastically change in price action. But hey, that's how you keep it. Let's see. Why did I take gold sells? Mira, hay dos ideas, hay dos cosas que aquí podría tener. La captura de liquidez de aquí, que sube hasta aquí arriba y después cae. Y igualmente el impulso alcista aquí, que saca esta liquidez y después viene bajando. Entonces básicamente habían 2 diferentes compras institucionales y aquí teníamos la mitigación de ambas. Reducing my stop loss on oil selling to the 1-minute low reversal. Is that what your plan tells you to do? What's your stop loss management tell you to do? As long as that's the case, man, yeah, man, do it. Run it up. For sure. For me, now my rules don't have to be your rules, right? My goal here is to get you to trade your game your best based off of whether it's your own data, whatever. For me, the massive sell-off, it's actually like 40 points. So I need a bit more. We've been in like a 20-point range. So I'm waiting a little bit longer. See if we get to like right over here. I'm down. I understand why you would. It's tightening it a little bit faster. I don't think it's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like, hey, just do whatever you're supposed to do, and then that should work. Cool as a cucumber. I already know that's Ruben. That's Ruben in there. All right, let's go. Gold still going. Despite all of this movement, not up a whole bunch, to be honest. Actually, my entry actually was over here somewhere. But either way, it's not a whole bunch. Best case, I think I'm at like a 1R right now. Let's see. Yeah. About a 1R, and then you got a little bit of oil drawdown, nothing too crazy. I gotta do some math here. Okay. Are we gonna see oil profit eventually, or are we just gonna sit and jot on with this thing the whole time? Okay. Well, guys, here's how I'm going to leave this for today. Oil or gold over here, there is a small chance. There's a chance. I wouldn't even say small. There's a chance that this comes back and wants to reject this last pump that we saw right here. There's a possibility the market wants to do that. So be aware of that. I have my stops up here. I'm just taking a look at, gold and silver and everything. So silver's ripping right back up pretty aggressively while gold is just chilling, big chilling. So, yeah, just to give you guys some perspective, don't be alarmed when that happens. I have my stop up here at the high. And then from there, oil is in profit finally. And then once this hits 57.55, I will be tightening my stop and I'll be tightening it to 57.24. So if this thing runs a bit further, then yeah, I'm game for that. And as I mentioned, gold is working its way up to those levels while silver is blasting off again. Honestly, silver might take out this high again while gold is still making lower highs. So, I mean, this is where you could actually end up scaling in, maybe throw another half hour in there, if you think that this is going to keep following the overall idea. So leave it at that. Gold in profits, oil is sitting a little bit in profit, and then indices will just kind of keep up with it. So guys, make sure you're checking out the school community. What I'll say is this: leave a few words. Some of you messaged me about my payout and everything, and I want to give you guys just some perspective regarding that payout. I don't even share really my payouts, but that one, since like the prop firm space is, there's good players, bad players. I was like, all right, I'll just I will be more documentative about kind of how things go with this one, which is why, I've been sharing. But here's the thing I want you guys to think about. Basically, all of those trades, I told you guys about all of those trades. For the most part, like most of those were broken down while I was live. Sure, every once in a while we get new setups later. And even then, I usually drop them in the community. So if you're not if you're not seeing like positive outcomes, or if you're not seeing yourself just keep growing as a trader, then, I mean, the only thing I got to say is, like, you have the technical understanding if you've been with me here for 6 months, a year, a couple of years. If you've been doing this with me, then you understand what you're looking at. You probably just need to figure out what's getting in the way internally. And so my suggestion is do a deep dive in that, right? Start to ask yourself questions regarding your beliefs in yourself, your beliefs in money, your beliefs in trading, long-term, short-term, time-related belief systems. All right, do I have a system that I'm following? Why can't I trust winning? Why can't I trust losing? Ask yourself all these questions. Like, I mean, you guys saw it, right? Like, the reason I'm able to do what I do is just because, like, I literally am okay with short-term disappointment, short-term losses for the sake of everything else. Like, it's fine. It's totally okay. So this right here, like, if I did this with you guys basically live, then why wouldn't you be able to do that? I mean, you 100% can. 100%. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do it. So my suggestion is this: take a deep look in the mirror, understand who you are, who you want to be, what standards you want to have. And if you realize right now, like, you know what, it's cost me hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars these last years to make something happen, then my suggestion is, look, book a call to do the syndicate. Trust me, you will level up your trading, because this is built around doing it the right way. Working on your behaviors, right? Working on your, not just what you know, what you do, what you think. It's like actually implementing structure, getting feedback fast, being around people that their focus is on, okay, the right process, the right standards, doing it at the right level. And when you're learning how to do these exercises and these trainings, this is how you end up actually progressing. So again, as always, guys, can you do this and learn the skill for free? Absolutely, 100%. But if you want to get accelerated learning from someone that's been doing this for a decade, that can actually just pinpoint, like, that's the thing that's not going right. That's the thing that you need to work on. That's the bullshit you're still believing. Or look, you just don't know how to think about it yet, and that's fine, because I didn't either, right? So my recommendation is this, and you know what, I'll even sweeten the deal, because I just want you guys to learn what it is that you have to change about yourself. Any person that books a call and shows up to the call, any person that just books a call and shows up to the call, I will do a prop firm, a trading account giveaway. So you'll get an entry to that. So if 10 people book a call and you show up to the call, then awesome. It'll be 10 people and one of you guys are going to end up getting that account. Just because I want you guys to at least understand what you need to think about. Even if you don't end up doing the syndicate, that's totally fine. I just want you guys to actually have a conversation about where you're really at, get some perspective. And then from there, if you go and you never join and you make a whole bunch of money and you get amazing results, that's what I want for you. But it's a big reason why we do this. Like, I want everyone to have a chance to win. But if you want to do it faster, you want to do it better, and you want to get feedback from people who have experience, then it's there for you. So if you do book a call and you show up, then you have a chance to win a trading account. That'll be one raffle that we'll do. And the second raffle that I'm going to do tomorrow is going to be open. I'll let you guys know how you win. But show up tomorrow, and you'll have a chance to win another trading account tomorrow as well. So Greg, can you book a call? You know what, man? Go ahead. Run it up. Syndicate guys, I got y'all tonight. Let's go. We in there chilling like a villain. I love it. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay tuned in the school community. I'll go ahead and put things. I dropped a link if you want to book that call. It's going to be in there. But if you're not in the free community and you want to get access to a whole bunch of resources, it's right there, right in front of you. You can scam one of those bad boys. Anyways, for now, oil still is doing its thing. Gonna let it ride. Gold still doing its thing. Gonna let it ride. And, yep, I'll see you guys. Hasta mañana.